Hello, everyone. We are just waiting to go live, and you're going to see us shortly. In fact, there we are. So welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to once again be hosting Speaker Chat for Women Speakers Association. It's actually something that I really enjoy because I get to meet incredible people or get to spend more time with incredible people that have so much information that they can share with us. So today, I'm really excited to have WSA Premier Member Paige Wilhide, and she's joining us as our guest, sharing her insight into why video is important to build your business, get you excited about wanting to create more video, because sometimes we get a little bit a little bit scared of going that next step, and also walk away with 3 essentials for a killer video strategy. So join me, everybody, in welcoming Paige.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here. I have my voting sticker on, representing from down here in the States, if you're watching. It's really good to be here. So thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so wonderful that you're here. I'm glad that you have your voting sticker on. As we were mentioning, it's like, we always do this on the first Tuesday of the month, and then I'm like, oh no, it's voting day. So, those of you that maybe aren't able to join us right now live, and you can actually put questions and comments and so forth on the Facebook page, okay? It's going to get forwarded over to our groups as well. But if you want us to actually see, then please come put your comments into our page. And I can see we already have Taryn Lee. Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Taryn here from South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. That's so exciting, Taryn. I've seen you've been posting all day too, so I'm glad you're really excited about this.
Awesome. And can I ask people, anybody who's watching this live, to just post what your experience with video is? Like, how much video do you do? I really want to know. I'm interested to hear where we all are with video.
Perfect. That's great. And I love the questions along the way. So even if you're coming back and you're watching the replay, let us know, because it's really important for a couple of things. One is Paige is able to see where you're at and give you some extra little tidbits of information, but it also helps you to know what other people, where they're at with things, right? Because as a community, it's so nice to know you're not doing it alone. So
it's such a good feeling when you're like, oh, this is something that everyone's feeling, and it's not just me. You just feel like you're in a community and you have a shared experience.
I love it, right? You get so much more done that way. It's almost like a little bit of an accountability. But what I want to do before we get started, we're going to get started with some questions and so forth, but I want to fill you in on a little bit more about Paige. So I'm going to read, or at least do my attempt at reading. So Paige is a comedian, a director, producer, and video strategist who just loves working on all sides of the camera. Originally and proudly from Baltimore, Maryland, she lived in Japan for a year after college, where she worked as an English teacher and fell in love with cross-cultural storytelling. She moved to New York City in 2011 to pursue her dream of being on Broadway, but her journey quickly took her in another direction. She started producing short promo videos from her 4th floor walk-up apartment, and before she knew it, she had accidentally created a video marketing and production company and loved every minute of it. As Paige evolved, so did Paige Media. She now lives in Los Angeles, coaching entrepreneurs all over the world to get over their camera fright, and build massive influence with video. Paige also loves doing and watching improv comedy, playing board games, and honing her tennis skills. We are so excited that you're going to be sharing some great information with us today, Paige. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. It's always interesting to hear your own bio being read. I love it.
Yeah, it's funny because you're like, oh, okay, is that me?
I forgot I wrote some of those things. I'm like, they're all true.
I love it too, because the bios give us a little bit more insight into you as well. And I mean, your experience is so vast, and I mean, just from the smile on your face, right? It's infectious. So it's cool that you're a comedian, and just the fact that we can plan where we're going to go in life, and life has other plans for us sometimes, and it ends up being absolutely spectacular, and that's what I see with you. So
yeah, exactly the way it was supposed to be,
Right. Yeah. So let's get started. I know that people are going to be very interested in finding out why you feel video is so important.
Yeah. um, so video is the medium of the future. It is the way that we are all starting to communicate on a regular basis. It's just getting bigger and bigger. And in the last 5 years of running my company, I've just seen this massive, just massive rush toward video and producing video. And as I'm seeing more and more people wanting to get involved with it and do it for their own businesses, I'm also seeing this trend of the barrier to entry just getting lower and lower. So it's becoming easier for people to produce their own videos from their living room, from wherever they are. If they're taking a hike or something like that, it's just becoming much easier for people to do it and to use it. So I think, like, I don't think it's a secret. You go on Facebook and it's just your feed is filled up with all kinds of video content. So when you're a business owner, the value that you have to be able to get in front of your audience and get in front of your audience in a short period of time when you have their attention, and to be able to capture their attention is so important. It's just so valuable to be able to do that. And that's what I love talking about and love helping people do.
So you're saying, I mean, we kind of learned that, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is like, gosh, it's worth so much more than that.
Yeah, someone has actually done that statistic as if a photo is worth 1,000 words, but I don't know the exact number. It's millions.
But it does. It has such an impact. And when you're looking at so much noise, especially if you're putting it out on social media, if you're looking at so much noise that's coming through, and noise doesn't mean that, the information that's being shared isn't maybe relevant to you or what you want to see, but you want it to stand out. And I think that that's, what you're saying about video is that it will stand out. You have that opportunity to such a short period of time to catch someone's attention. A video, moving parts, even if it's a talking head like what we have right now, is still going to get people to go, oh, wait a second, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I work with a lot of speakers who are used to being on stages, used to speaking in front of massive audiences live. And then when it comes to doing video, it's like, deer in headlights. So it's totally normal to feel that way, but it's just like a different audience that you have that's watching you from a computer than watching you live on stage, right? You have all their attention when you're on a stage and everybody's listening to you. They don't have anywhere to go. Whereas on a computer, they have 50 other things they could be doing and might be doing if your video isn't exciting enough, or doesn't capture their attention in that moment.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, say I'm going to go put up some videos. Do I just kind of put up whatever the heck I want? Or what's the importance of having a strategy behind your video?
Yeah. So, you can throw spaghetti at the wall and see what happens, see when people come to you and how they come to you and who is coming to you and all of those things. But the value in having a strategy, I like to think of it as if you're driving without a map. Is if you don't have a video strategy, you're sort of lost and you're just kind of driving. You know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there. Now, the value in having a strategy, on the other hand, is you have that map, you have that GPS, and it is going to guide you step by step to get to where you want to be. So if you want 500,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel 5 years from now, you can throw out a bunch of stuff and see what works and what doesn't and what happens. But if you have a clear picture of when you're putting out content and you're on a regular basis and you are very calculated about the way that you use your video strategy and put your content out there, it's only going to get you there faster, and it could get you farther than you want to go.
Yeah, strategy definitely is important. And you definitely want that roadmap. It's funny, right? You can think you know where you're going and get pretty darn close sometimes to where you want to go. But sometimes that last little bit too is where you struggle. So having that strategy in place, something you can kind of go back and take a look at, adjust as required, can be really important.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call out I wanted to say hi to Joy and hi to Petra and Deb. Ladies, if you are coming in a little bit later on this, if you want to share with us if you've dabbled with video yet, we would just love to know whether that's something that you are, maybe confident with, or whether you're just getting started, or you feel like it's starting to take on a little bit of a gone.
Starting to feel into it. Yeah, let's scale from 1 to 10. Let's do a scale from 1 to 10.
I love scales. I can do that 1 to 10.
Let's break it down numerically, guys.
Oh, wonderful. And Petra says she certainly wants to do video, so that's perfect. You're definitely on the right speaker chat. There's, if you've listened in, right, you can definitely throw spaghetti at the wall. I've used that scenario before too, and sometimes it sticks and it's awesome, but sometimes you don't know why it stuck, so it's hard to replicate it, right? So you want a strategy, something that you can replicate, something that you're going to continue to kind of build on, getting more information out about you and your business. Paige and I were talking about before this call is that, doing videos and people seeing how you interact and how you deal with whatever might come your way, and just that general feel. I mean, I think that probably, we do the 6 degrees of separation. I think it kind of starts to make things a little bit less touches required, because you start to build a relationship with the people that you see on video.
Absolutely. You go through that know, like, and trust funnel so much faster when you do video. And I found that when I started my production company, and my clients were like, I don't have to have sales calls anymore. I just have to have calls where they ask when they can work with me. It's like that kind of thing. So there's just so much value in connecting one-on-one with your audience in this way.
Perfect. Nice. So we have another, tell more about strategy, Petra asked, and we will talk about strategy. It's actually my next question, which is awesome. And Sheila says, I've been doing video for about a year now. I'm getting more comfortable with each time I do one. And that's important too, is keep practicing, keep doing. It does get easier all the time.
Yep. You're going to look back on your first video one day and be like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? What was I thinking? I didn't know anything. But you know what? You're going to look at it and say, at least I did it, because it got me to where I am today. Right. So just do it.
Yep. Just do it. That's our slogan for today.
We didn't steal that from anybody.
No, of course not. No, we didn't trademark that.
We made that
up. So if we are talking about, we're talking about strategy, where do people even start if they want to develop a video strategy? Can you give us a little bit of information on that?
Yeah. So I like to talk about the 3 C's as the foundation of any good, solid video strategy. And those 3 C's are content. So you want to have videos, you want to have stuff to put out there. Community. So you want to have people that you show your videos to, and then consistency. And when I talk about consistency, people think, oh, I can put out a video a month and that's enough. Like, that's consistent. So I'm doing the work. There's so much video content out there. And in order to stay top of mind, in order for people to remember you, I always recommend to my clients, you have to do video at least once a week, if not more. So we've worked with people who've sort of plateaued in their video, and they're like, I'm making stuff and putting it out there, and I'm only, I'm just having this steady growth. I was like, all right, well, let's try to boost your consistency. So let's try to do 2 videos a week and see how we can build this into your plan, everything else you have going on. How are we going to add another video in there? And we found the place to do it, and we found the time to do it. And once she did, she started like doubling her subscribers. So that's just the value in being more consistent, being in front of people more. And then you go to the top of search results, and you're at the top of feeds, and wherever you choose to show up in video, you're only going to get more visible the more you do it. So those are the three: content, community, and consistency. And whenever I work with clients, we go through all three of those in depth.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that all makes sense. And I love what you said about consistency, because one person's consistency is not necessarily the same as somebody else's. And you're right, when things are moving so quickly, you definitely want to spending more time on it. It's kind of that whole thing where you focus your effort is where you just a second here, where you focus your effort is where you're going to get the most results too. I'm just looking at a couple people for some reason do not see us here. I'm just going to put the link in. Just a moment.
Did we disappear?
No, we're there, but I think what has happened is that they're not looking for it in the right place. So I'm just going to put the link in just so they can come catch us a little bit here. So a second. I'm going to go down there.
We're competing with all the other videos right now.
Well, exactly.
All the other live streams.
Oh, of course, that did not copy like it was supposed to. Please look at the top of the page. We are live now.
So while you're doing that, I just want to say one more thing about strategy. And it's when people are just starting out and you're like so overwhelmed with everything you could possibly be doing, my recommendation is to pick one platform. So don't feel like you have to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, like all of the things. Just pick one, and pick one that either you're the most comfortable with or where you think your audience is. So like if you're B2B, LinkedIn is a great place to be for video, but pick one and master it and really get to know it, get to know your audience there, start engaging with your audience there, start putting out regular content there, and then you'll have an easier time moving to another platform and trying that, and then building an audience over there. So that's my recommendation. If you're like, if it sounds like I'm speaking Greek to you when I talk about video strategy, just pick one platform and start there.
Yes, it's so important to not get yourself overwhelmed with things too, especially when you're trying something new. So trying to get out there on all the platforms is definitely could be, oh, that's another reason why I'm not going to start, right? We want people to definitely be starting. And I'm looking at, there's a couple questions that have come up here. Question about getting started with video. My instinct is to try live video, maybe IG lives, Instagram lives, saved to IGTV, since there's less preparation versus pre-recorded videos, which I feel have more pressure to look polished. Thoughts?
Go with your instinct. Go with your instinct. Live video is amazing, and I'm so happy that this is an option for so many people. It's a lower barrier to entry. It's also, if you do live video, people are more willing to forgive it, right? You can show up, you don't have to be wearing all the makeup and, doing all the things, getting ready for this. The background doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I find that that's one of the main things that stops people from doing video at all, is like, it's not going to be perfect, so why am I even doing it, right? But we know that perfection is the enemy of progress. So in order to just do video, if live video if you feel called to do it, do it. It's amazing. Just like, it's a great way to try it out, and then you can delete it if you don't like it. No one has to watch it.
I like that too. And when you're practicing, I know when I was first starting with Facebook Lives, for instance, right, there is that way of showing it only to yourself. So you don't necessarily have to share it out the first time if you're just trying to get comfortable with things.
Yeah, that's a really nice trick of the trade right there.
Yeah.
Make it private just to yourself when you're first going live, and try it, like watch it back, make sure the sound is okay, make sure you look all right, and then you can do it publicly. Yeah,
it's perfect. So what are some of the, and you've kind of talked a little bit about this, but what are some of the pitfalls that people might encounter with video?
Perfection is really, I mentioned that before. It's the big one. It's the big P. It really keeps people paralyzed when it comes to making video, feeling like you have to have it all a certain way. And then there's another part is I find that there's a lot of people, a lot of self-consciousness comes up. So there's a lot of weight issues, a lot of like skin issues, people who are just feeling a little bit insecure. And that's totally normal. Like, it's so normal to feel like you're seeing all of these beautiful people out there putting out video content, and you're like, well, I don't feel like I deserve to be heard. But you do. Like, you absolutely deserve to be heard. And the quicker that you can realize that your voice is so essential and your story is so important to share, then you can really just knock down some of those insecurities pretty quickly. I mean, I know they come up for me all the time, and I'm like, I just have to do this because this is my mission, is to help women share their stories. And you really have to step into your passion and your mission and your bigger picture when you have all these like little voices in your head saying you're not ready.
Right, and those are, some of the ways to overcome those pitfalls, like you said, is have the bigger picture in mind, but also, when you're doing that too, think about, what are you providing to somebody else? You're doing this for a reason. What is it that you're trying to provide to other people? And then it's less about you and more about what you're offering, and then you have less time to think about sort of where you are there. So
yeah, and if you can think of it less of like people, like less of there's all these people watching me, and just think about one person who you have an impact on, one person who you've helped and has been like, I couldn't have done what I've done without you, then that's all worth it, right? It's all worth it just to do it for that one person.
It's kind of like passing on the smile, right? That one smile that you give to somebody and they pass it on can impact, who knows, millions, right? So,
Yep. Domino effect.
Yeah, I love that. I see another question from Marie. She says, do you have some tips about monetizing the video? How can I increase the sales?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not assuming, but when we talk about monetizing video, usually we're talking about YouTube. There's a lot of stuff with ads in YouTube that I don't usually mess with. I prefer getting organic traffic and growing it organically. But if we're talking, like, it depends on obviously like what your profession is and what you're selling and all these things. But a really great thing to do is have an Amazon affiliate program. So if there is something, like if there are tools or something that you recommend, books that you recommend to your audience, getting that like putting those in your videos and linking to them in your Amazon affiliate will be a really good source of just some like residual income. It's not going to be massive. Oops, sorry, I just hit my microphone. It's not going to be massive unless you have like a massive audience. But that's one great way to do it. Another thing is, getting people on your mailing list is like the crux of a video strategy. Like, that is what I try to get all of my clients to do. And because of when you have people on your mailing list, you have control, right? You have control of your mailing list. You don't have control of whether Facebook changes their algorithm tomorrow. So you don't know. And what if they just like, all your videos get deleted on Facebook tomorrow, and what are you going to do, right? So you want to really aim to have people on your list, and then you can nurture them. Then you can start, whatever you have to sell. If you have a course or a book or a program or something that you're selling, you can nurture them that way and then take them through your sales funnel. So just think of every video like a conversation, and you're talking to a real person on the other end of this who is a potential buyer.
Could you also, those are great tips. I love the Amazon or any type of affiliate type of income, because ultimately having multiple streams of income is the best way to make it so you're not working all the time, right? Absolutely. But one of the things I was going to say was, once again, it's disappeared. It's one of those days. With the videos too, and I've seen you do this too, is you take a little tidbit of information, so you can actually develop them from maybe questions that your clients have asked you, and you could build that into like I'm going to answer this one question, right? And building upon that, and then bringing people into your list from each of those. Like if you want to learn more, you want to keep on top of things, you know, you can have this report, or you can do whatever it might be. So
yeah, extract like the most, like the juiciest part of the video and make it into a promotional piece for yourself. And then send people over to the full length video if they want to see more.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
Marie said that's very good. Thank you. So that was, you answered a question, which is awesome.
Good. You're welcome. And something else I'll say about video, when people like ask about monetizing it, it is, it's not going to have like a direct ROI all the time. You're not always going to see the, like, you make a video, you make this much money kind of thing. But if you are building, think about building this library of content over an extended period of time. So you're slowly, gradually building a base of expertise. And if you think of it like that, you are more likely to book bigger stages, right? Bigger talks, because you have all this expertise. You can share that with the person booking you. You're more likely to have an audience that's ready to buy your book when it comes out, or your course when it launches, or whatever you're selling. So it's less about like a direct ROI with video, and it's more about a long-term investment.
Yeah, that's good for adding that clarity too, because a lot of times we want stuff yesterday. We want to see those results, but it's kind of your overall online strategy really is how are you going to show up? Where are you going to show up? How are you going to pull people into either your offer or your website, or, you know, to subscribe to your YouTube channel so that they can take the next step with you. So it's really important to, you know, be consistent and share that information out.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Don't be shy.
So you've touched on this. This is we're kind of getting down to our last couple of questions. And then I see a couple more that just popped up too, so we'll address those in a second. So what do you recommend for people just starting out? You mentioned one platform at a time. Is there something else as well as that would be important?
Well, we didn't really touch on gear yet. And, you know, we're talking a lot about strategy, which is so important. And then it also comes down to how are you actually going to shoot these videos, right? You need a camera of some type. So when you're just starting out, I am a huge advocate for using your phone. Your phone is a great piece of equipment. They're only getting more advanced and innovative with the technology available to be able to create beautiful videos with your phone. So it just takes your phone and a couple of tools to be able to shoot video. So when you're just starting out, pick one platform and then get your phone and start recording.
Perfect. And I know you're going to share some information with us, and we'll touch on that in just a second. I want to go to the couple extra questions, but enough that I've got one of the pieces of equipment that you recommend on my computer right now. So it's pretty cool. So let's just go back and touch base. Sheila asks, how can I get more subscribers? Is there a way to get videos noticed on YouTube?
Yes, there's lots of ways. Oh gosh, Sheila, I would have like a million follow-up questions for you just to see like what strategy you're using right now. If you search what other people in your industry, what videos they're putting out, and then use some of those keywords to find to make content that is specific to their videos that are getting traction. So, you know, you can, like I said, you can throw spaghetti against the wall, or, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. People have made videos that are doing well. You can look at what they've done. There are plugins where you can see what tags they've used and make videos that are similar and going to target the people you want to target in a, you know, more successful way. Just sharing the heck out of your videos, like everywhere you can, talking about them, not assuming that people are watching them the first time you share them. Like assume that it takes 4 or 5 times for you to share a video before they're watching it. So it would depend on where your other audiences are, like where you're sharing them now. And then in treating YouTube like a search engine is going to be really valuable, because it is a search engine and it is owned by the first largest search engine, Google, and YouTube is the second largest search engine. So there's this whole search engine monopoly. And if you can kind of crack those codes with keywords, then you'll be making content that people will want to watch and that people are searching for. I hope that answers your question. It's like a really hard question to answer, not knowing that much about your strategy.
But I think, definitely, sharing out that it's the second largest search engine, and the fact, that's something I talk about too, right? Keywords. Like, if you, going back to that map that you were talking about at the beginning, if you don't make it easy for people to find you and you don't give them the words that they're looking for, it's going to be harder. And Sheila says, yes, that was a great answer. So that's fabulous. Lillian says, excellent. Petra says, what is your opinion about sharing on your personal versus business page?
Oh, I don't think anyone's ever asked me that question before. So that is it's very dependent on what you do and whether you, whether there's crossover and you can share, it's like the same kind of thing. It's hard to answer not knowing like what you're sharing and all of this stuff. But what I usually do on Facebook is I'll post it on my business page so it will live there, and then I'll share it onto my personal page so that people who follow me personally, they can see it there. And then, the home of that video, that live stream, is going to be my business page.
Perfect.
So just getting that extra boost of sharing and traction is really going to help you. It will never hurt you unless there's something you don't want people in your personal network to see. That would be the only reason I would say don't share it on your personal page. Yeah,
I agree with you too. I believe that, putting it up on your business page, because there's always that thing with Facebook. If you're putting everything business related on your personal page, sometimes they crack down on that. So you would rather have it on your business page and then share it to your personal page. It's allowing you to kind of like have the best of both worlds that way and kind of cover yourself a little bit too. So
yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm a third party sharing this random thing that I found.
There's ways around everything, right?
Yep, definitely.
Oh, wow. So this has been amazing. Ladies, if you are coming back and you're maybe watching the replay afterwards, please go ahead and put your questions in here. If Paige has an opportunity, she'll kind of flip back in every once in a while and respond to them. So that'll provide you with some extra information there. But we kind of touched on it. I know you have, we want people to know how to get in contact with you. So like social media profiles and so forth, you can always go in after Paige and maybe just type those into the comments. Would be great if you could do that. But also, I know that you have some information that you want to share with people, and just a little bit more on how they can make the best of this new frontier of the video world.
Yeah, the new frontier, the wild, wild west.
Right.
I have a checklist. So that is what my gift to you today is. It is a checklist of video gear that you can use for your phone. So it's called the iPhone video checklist, but you can use it on Samsung devices or anything like that. And the website is pagemedia.com/checklist. And you can get it over there. It is my recommendations of things to get if you are planning on shooting content on your phone. It'll boost the quality a little bit in terms of audio, video, tripod, kind of like all of my recommendations. And they're all less than $100. So it's building out your kit for less than $100. If you want to be scrappy starting video, this is definitely the way to do it. So that's how you can find that. And then if you want to subscribe to me on YouTube, I put out videos about video every week. And my YouTube is youtube.com/pagemedia/users/pagemedia, I think. Let me just make sure that's right. I think that's right.
I was going to start to type it out and then I'm like, I'm going to miss something.
Yeah.
Everybody, I just put up the link though to the checklist. So you can definitely just go click on that and grab that information there.
Yeah. And just kidding. It's Paige Media Co. I get a little bit confused sometimes.
We'll get you to copy and paste that in there for everybody so I don't mess that one up.
Yeah. Just search Paige Media on YouTube. You can find it. Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm just going to show everybody here as I get close to I have this little ditty, and it's a camera. It's a light that I can put over either onto my phone because it actually has like this. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But I also use it when I am using my computer because it gives a nice soft light as opposed to having, something coming down from the top, which is what I usually have. So I really, really love it. And thank you very much, Paige.
You're looking gorgeous. You're looking gorgeous.
But yeah, it's perfect, right? I love those. There's so many things out there, and a lot of it's trial and error. You've done this trial and error for us and found what works best. And like you said, you're kind of I think you said that you're kind of like a technology geek when it comes to, video. So you're always trying out the newest, latest, and greatest. So I assume that, you continually, what is this light called? Can you please, I don't remember what it's called.
It's in my guide, in my checklist.
Yeah.
So if you download my checklist, you can find it there. I think it's like, it's got a weird name. It's like A something XIA.
Yeah.
Something. So yeah, it's in the checklist. You'll find it.
It definitely is in the checklist. So you definitely want to take a look. And thank you. Yeah, it does make a difference, right? Just an even soft, and there's different levels to it. So it's pretty cool that we can actually try it out and it works. But thank you.
You're
really
welcome. So glad it works. Yeah, I love that light.
Yeah, it's definitely really good. And it's really important too, because once again, it comes back to that subconscious thing. It's like, oh no, what if the light's this way or not that way, or the sun's not shining, it's coming in from the window this way. There's all these things that we could use as excuses not to make our video. So this is one last excuse that I have.
Absolutely. That's my job, is eliminating excuses for making video. I'm just going to knock them all down.
I love it. Well, you do a great job of it. So thank you very much once again for joining us. Lots of great information shared. I highly recommend. I know I'm going to go back and listen to this again and pull out. There were some pieces that I wanted to be writing down, but that would be too many things happening at one time for me today. So thank you again. It was wonderful.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. I love talking.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you love talking.
Yeah, I love talking about video especially. So this was perfect.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Once again, share this video out if there's some value that your colleagues can find in it, which we know that is the case. Please go ahead and share it and leave any comments that you have or any questions that maybe come up as you're watching back through it or you're going through the replay. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.